I'm Corbett Wall with DB Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday the 13th of November. What could happen here in the year 2020. But brought to you in part by Zactran. Stress opens a gate for bovine respiratory disease. Zactran slams it shut. Remember to observe your 35-day withdrawal period after treatment. For more information, go to Zactran.com or visit with your BI representative. The North caved in, albeit at $3 higher, and it's not very often, very rare actually, that you can gain more than just a buck or so, even when you're gaining. But at $3, the North caved in and started trading cattle. The South did not. They traded just a few, but they were really hoping to get more. But $1.10 is your price live. I've been telling you guys this week that we sure ought to get $1.12 and probably need to ask for $1.14 to get the $1.12, but I guess that's all they wanted, because that's all they ended up getting. Kansas and Texas continue to hold out for more money, and I think they'll probably get it, because these packers are needing cattle. They're needing to step up this slaughter. They've got a lot of obligations to fill as far as product, because they've sold a lot of it out front here between now and the end of the year. And they're still making money, not as much money as they were making, at the height of the panic buying and when the pandemic first started and we were under lockdown and all that, which it sounds like we're going to go back under that. I guess that's what folks wanted, so many of them voting for Biden. But places like Chicago now, they're not supposed to go outside for 30 days now. I'm not sure what that's going to prove. It didn't work before. It's a virus, folks. Everybody's going to get it eventually, but the vaccine should help. But the Packers were making, over $3,000 a head, or close to, from $2,500 to $3,000 a head at some points, and now they're down to making just a couple of $100 a head. But most of your feedlot guys would dance in the streets if they could make $200 a head at the rough times of year. But your Packers did report, some of them reporting Q3 income. And JBS, our friends from Brazil there, they're always on the up and up. They reported an increase in net income in the third quarter of 778%. Wow. They were, and they're always in hot water from paying off people with bribes. They give millions of dollars in bribes to secure billions of dollars in government loans from Brazil mostly. But they're all suing each other now. The owners and the board members are suing each other. But I tell you what, in the background, they're making a hell of a lot of money. And it wasn't all on just the pandemic, and because by the third quarter we were kind of getting through that. Probably the main reason they were making so much money is because in China, those folks are about to starve over there. They went through the ASF with their hog fever, and they had lost about half of their hog production over there, which China's hog production is huge. You think they don't raise any, no, they don't raise many cattle, but their hog production, them losing about half of their hog production, that's more hogs than we produce in the Western Hemisphere, guys. It's huge. And so those folks were about to starve over there, and they were importing a lot of meat products, and a lot of them from Brazil and a lot of them from JBS. So that's the main reason they were making so much money. But they were making plenty of money off the backs of American cattle feeders too. But let's talk about the board for Thursday. December live cattle futures down 42 cents at 111.97. Your board wasn't impressed with the North caving in at $1.10. I think they were kind of rooting for $1.12. February down 47 cents at 114.80. Going out from there, and your out front months were trading down 47 cents to up a nickel. But not anything too big. November feeder cattle were down 52 cents. We've seen some big gains this week. It's likely they'll take a little profit here late in the week, but down 52 cents at 140.07. Still trading at a big premium to what your index levels are on the cash trade. Your RTI is a lot higher than what your latest CME cash feeder cattle index is, but it's a coming. It's just taking a little bit of time to get current. January feeder cattle contracts up 52 cents at 140.72. You've gone out from there, and they were all higher. So the only reason that your spot November was down, it was just getting too far out in front of what your cash index was, and so it needed to back up a little bit. We're in the spot month on that with November, and that is cash settled. But you go on the out front months, and they were all higher, from a nickel higher to 62 cents higher. But all of your forward contracts on your feeder cattle were quite a bit higher, or decent amount higher. Let's talk about your fat cattle trade. I told you about the North Cave. Both Iowa and Nebraska sold 14,300 head of confirmed sales on Thursday, and likely more than that whenever they get them all reported. But that's a pretty good slug, especially for Iowa. But your live price was largely 110, which is $3 higher. They did have a little spread in Iowa, 107 to 110. Nebraska, it was 108 to 110. And the dress market, $5 higher at 172. So that's good ground to make, but the opportunities to make even more than that, or to get that much more market position, don't come along very often at all. And we could have sure gained $5 this week if the guys would have just held out. But it's only been a week or so that the North was removed from trading at a discount to the South, and guys just felt like they wanted to trade them. Their cattle can do whatever they want to with them, and likely helped out from a lot of farmer feeders that just didn't want to fight any longer. They just wanted to go ahead and get something sewed up. But Kansas and Texas holding out. Kansas only had 1,000 head, and unlikely in the North there that went along with some of their Nebraska guys at 110, and a few dress sales 172 to 173 in Kansas. Texas about 700 head, and kind of an interesting market for Texas. Their price spread was from 110.75 to 111. You think, well, if 111 was out there, why didn't they trade more? Well, that was just from a regional plant and a smaller outfit. Didn't get any of the majors paying that yet. But 11 would probably trade a lot of cattle. And I assume here on Friday, the guys got their boots dug in at 112. They've got market established in the North at 110. I would assume that we'll trade in the Southern Plains at 111 unless the board kind of opens up herky-jerky. But I wouldn't put that in the bank, but that's likely what will happen. We'll talk about that next week when we start talking about the market. But box beef cutout values seem like they found a kind of a stopping point. They've been gaining a lot of ground early in the week. I told you, first 2 days of this week, your select product gained $10 a hundred, which is a bunch. Select, not that much, but kind of caught up here late in the week with choice cuts on Thursday afternoon, $226.50. That was up $3.66 compared to Wednesday. Your select product down just 22 cents at 208.24. I might note that fairly light volume on your spot trade there on box beef cutout values, and they sold a lot of product down the line out front here over the last several weeks. So likely they're not going to be too worried about the light movement on the spot trade, because they are getting the cutout prices back up there. They're getting some resistance from their customers, and what they don't sell, they've got that'll leave that much more for them to fill those boxes that they've already promised that they sold out front, but a few weeks back and over the last several months. But your slaughter. Pretty good clip, 472,000 through Thursday. That's down 7,000 from last week, but we're still in hopes for a big Saturday. And that 472,000 was exactly the same as a year ago. Our actual slaughter information comes out, it always comes out on Thursday. The actual slaughter information that come out this week was for the week that ended on Halloween. So it's always a couple of weeks behind, but it seems like ever since we've come back from the production slowdown during the worst of the COVID, every time we have actual slaughter come out, it comes out to be a couple thousand, maybe 3,000 more than what they'd estimated. And we normally do such a good job estimating those. It makes you wonder if some of these plants aren't turning things in on the light side, because whenever we get the actual data back 2 weeks later, it seems like ever since, like I said, the worst of the pandemic, whenever we get the actual data back in, they have to adjust it up a couple 3,000, but that continued to happen this week. Of course, the information we always look at on the actual slaughter data is your average dressed steer carcass weight, and it was down significantly, which is a big deal. We've likely topped out on our heavy carcasses, so down 5 pounds, 926 pounds, which is still gigantic, but it was 931 on the previous report. So, and we expect that to continue. I mean, it may jostle back and forth, but we expect that to continue to kind of tail off a little bit. Talk about what else is going on. South Coffeyville Stockyards in South Coffeyville, Oklahoma, is going to broadcast their first sale with DV Auction here on Friday. And we invite you guys to get on there, view and bid that sale there at South Coffeyville. They've recently been under new ownership, and then they're testing the waters on about everything that they can think of to improve their market and improve it for their customers and open up a bigger buyer base. So going to be on DV Auction for the first time, and we got them set up on Thursday and be broadcasting for the first time here on Friday. So get on there and watch them and support that market, and I'll be kind of keep you guys up to date on top quotes that come out of there. But we've been getting the market out of there for quite some time, but probably pay a little closer attention to it now that they're broadcasting with us. But going out to a bull sale in Maxwell, New Mexico. It's Chris Earl's sale, which he's a big sale manager and got his own herd out there, and that's dry country, big open dry country there, and got some elevation to it, but he's got some Angus bulls with some ungodly numbers, guys. But you might want to get on there. That's the Reverse Rockin' R sale. It's going to be Saturday from Maxwell, New Mexico. We'll be going out there. I always know it's time for Chris Earl's fall sale because he schedules it right during the World Championship Ranch Rodeo in Amarillo, and so then I don't get to go to that. But anyway, they are having the World Championship Ranch Rodeo in Amarillo this weekend. They are going to have people there. Of course, they're cut back on a percentage of what they can normally have there, but in trade out for doing that, they added 2 more performances. So good for them. And the trade show's what's really fun to walk through anyway, and I'll probably get a chance to do that on Friday morning. So see some of you guys out there. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV Auction late in the day on Thursday, sitting at 137.85. That's up 55 cents from Wednesday's close there. And you looked at, that's over $1 higher than what your latest CME cash feeder cattle index is. And it's always just kind of dragging behind, and especially whenever they get late sales in the fall of the year and stuff, sometimes those market reports that the government puts out come out kind of late, and they have to go back in and adjust and things like that. But your real-time index is always up to date just as fast as your computer can refresh there, or one of these market screens we have right here. They're always up to date. But it bodes well because your CME will catch up. We're using the same numbers out of many of the same barns on the same weight groups and everything. So it's an excellent precursor of what the CME cash feeder cattle index is going to be. Let's talk about your big sales on Thursday. Winter livestock, Pratt, Kansas, 2,700 head there. Steers $7 to $11 higher. Heifer calves $4 to $11 higher. Your big feeder heifer is about steady. But look at a top quote out of Pratt there on Thursday. 71 head, 670 pound steers bring 157.75. Wow, that's a Nebraska type quote there. Farmers and Ranchers Livestock, Salina, Kansas, 2,700 head there also. Their feeder steers were $3 to $6 higher. Heifers weighing from 5 to 900 pounds, which would catch the bulk of the calves and what yearlings they had there, $4 to $10 higher. They did mention that lightweight steers were off just a little bit from last week, and some of your really big heavy heifers, and they were some lower also. But look at a top quote out of Farmers and Ranchers Livestock. They had a part load 916 pound feeder steers bring 147 and a quarter. Wow. How about Belle Fourche Livestock Market, Belle Fourche, South Dakota, over 5,000 head there, and they've just recently started broadcasting with us and reporting their market into us, and so been trying to keep up with that. It's a good test of the market up in the northern plains late in the week, and I've been getting a kick out of reporting this market to you. Another sale barn, only place you'll see them reported is right here on the National Beef Wire and on the Feeder Flash. But if you look at your best tested weights of steer and heifer calves, they were mostly $1 to $3 higher. So it had an awful good sale because they had a heck of a good sale last week. But you can look at some of these quotes and pause this if you want to look at it for a little bit longer. How about Ogallala Livestock Auction there in Ogallala, Nebraska? 3,600 head there, sharply higher on most of your best tested calf weights there. Look at the best quote that I saw on lightweight calves come out of Ogallala. 134 head, 426 pound steer calves bring $209.50. That's over $890 a head, guys, for steers just weighing 4 1/4. Wow. But the best quotes that I saw anywhere come out of Valentine, Nebraska. 3,200 head there. And your market was up to $6 higher, spots $8 higher than there in Valentine. But your Zach Tran top quote of the day was Bob Carr and Sons cattle had 82 head of steers, weighed 601 and $169. And that's your Feeder Flash for Friday.